Hey guys, and thanks for tuning into my video today. I guess today's video I wanted to have a discussion, and it's going to be how not to buy the wrong gun. Reason I'm making this video is because there's a lot of people out there that buy guns that, you know, even then like a day later they sell. I'm no exception to the rule, and many people on this channel and that have guns and bought them, they turn around selling them because they don't like them, or there's something else, something about it. And the biggest thing with the gun manufacturers are trying to make their guns look appealing. You know, they'll add a laser to it. You know, they put colors on them, and you know, there's so many calibers in guns. So really, what I'd probably recommend, if you're a new a new gun enthusiast, investigate the market. Go out and take a look, read, look at videos, ask questions. Because when you walk into a gun dealer, into a gun shop, you know, a lot of them, they have certain guns that they want to move and certain guns they want to sell. So you're going in there, and if you don't know anything, you're not going to get the correct gun. They're getting better over the years, some gun shops, but you could go in and buy a 50 BMG pistol if they have one there. They don't care. If you like it, they're going to sell it to you. That's what their job is, to sell guns. And most of the people behind the counter are not very experienced. Most of those are just making a minimal amount of money. They probably don't even have many guns themselves. They're not gunsmiths, or they're just salespeople, you know, doing background checks and collecting money and selling guns. So you have to, as a consumer, get experience, and the best way to do that is asking questions. If you can fire the gun that you want to buy, you know, you might have to go and spend $100, fire a few guns to see if you like it. If you're thinking about a 9mm, fire it. If you're thinking about a 45, fire it. If you're thinking about a compact small polymer gun, fire it. See how it's in your hand, how you like it. Because if you go ahead and buy that gun and then leave there and you don't like it, you're kind of stuck. Now you've just lost, you know, 25% of what you paid for it. And if you go back, you know, they'll take it back, but they're going to nail you a few bucks. So the bottom line is, be prepared, do your homework. There's a lot of low priced guns out there that are very nice. Myself, for first time shooters, I'd recommend you, like I say, if you live in a non-communist state where you can go into a gun shop and you can rent a gun and shoot it. But if most of the time you're not able to do that, so if you're not able to do that, you're kind of stuck when you buy your first gun, because you can't even fire one. Some places might show you, or you can look at information, but you kind of get stuck. In Florida and Georgia and Virginia, a lot of different states where, you know, you can go rent a gun, shoot it, and pay like 30-40 bucks with ammunition, go there and shoot it for 2 hours. Then you know if you like it. You know, most common gun probably people buy is the 9mm. That's, you know, just about every single manufacturer makes a 9mm gun. There's multiple loads and bullet types for the 9mm, but you know, like I say, 9mm is, it's what it is. You may want something with a little bit more power. You might want a bigger bullet. You might want like a Smith & Wesson 40. You may want 45 ACP. You may want the daddy of them all, 10mm. 10mm guns are great. There's a few people on YouTube that have just YouTube subscribers that bought the 10mm, and they're great guns. But even a brand new 10mm can have problems, just like a 9mm. So I recommend really take a nice course so you can actually clear jams and you know know your firearm the best you can. And when you're practicing, I recommend you go ahead and fire at 21 feet, 7 yards. And if you're doing this for concealed carry when you practice, you want to do point and shoot. Point and shoot is basically you just lift up the gun, point, and pull the trigger. That's it. You're basically point of mass shooting. You're not taking it and deciding that you're going to put it in the white lines and line up all the sights. You'll never have that time. If you had to defend yourself, you'll never have that time. Whether it's home defense or concealed carry, you'll never have that chance to do that. Now, if you're a shooter, competition, target shooting, yeah, you will. And of course, that's going to dictate it. You get a different gun. But the bottom line, when you're picking up a gun, there is really a few, guidelines. Try the gun out if you can. Make sure it fits your hand good. If you can fire it, make sure the caliber, you can handle it. Make sure if you're shooting at 21 feet, you can hit what you're shooting at. Because if you can't handle it and you can't shoot it, well, there's senseless to have it. Most of your shooting is going to be done a little bit less than 21 feet. So most of the experts say you want to be able to accurate at 21 feet. And what you can do is just go to Walmart and get some pipe plates, regular 6-inch pipe plate that you'll use for hot dogs when you're camping out or having a barbecue. And then you can get a poker chip marker, or just I used a cheap can of spray paint, sprayed some in the cap and dipped a wooden dowel and just made a dot in the middle of it, fluorescent dot. Or you could color it in with a fluorescent marker or something. And then you just go to the range, line them up as your target and use them. And you could, put lines around them for the bullseyes and all that. And if you can get it within the 6-inch pipe plate at 21 feet and keep your groups about an inch and a half, that's pretty good. Because normally with your NRA training, when you get an instructor, that's what they want you to do. That's what you use. And they give you a point for every bullet that's within that 6-inch and within that certain amount of groups. And that's how they decide. Now, if you're not accurate with the gun, you fail. You won't become an instructor. I had to do that. So, and then you get a certain amount of points and you're graded. So that's the same method that the NRA uses for their instructors. So it works out pretty good. I don't think 50 feet is really practical, because most people can't even hit anything at 50 feet. Some people can, but why stress it? You could try to practice out to 50 feet, but you want to be accurate to 21 feet. And the best way to do that is just practice. And if you can, like I say, if you can shoot the gun and hold the gun before you buy it, that's absolutely great. And don't forget, a lot of manufacturers, if you buy a gun and it has defects in it, cosmetic defects, chances are will not replace it, won't refinish it, won't plate it if they're minimal. So you want at all times when you're buying a firearm, you want to be able to see it in person, feel it, touch it, hold it, check it, rack it, make everything works good. Because if you get a special order, unless it's like Bass Pro or one of those other big chains, if there's a problem with it, you're stuck with it. And I know that for a fact, because I had bought a Desert Eagle and I had problems with the finishing on it, and it took me about 9 months, but I was able to get my money back. But I had to really, held a high water. I had to fight with the manufacturer. I finally got it, and I think he just did that to shut me up because I had a YouTube channel. But most people, they will not, because the thing is, a lot of manufacturers do not plate or coat their own guns. It's third party. So they would send it out and have a third party do it, and then when they get it, they sell it. And most of the time the finish isn't guaranteed unless it's really blatantly bad. There's an obvious problem with it. They'll warranty it. But I wanted to bring that up. Like I say, it's just a kind of a guideline if you're going to be buying your first gun, or even a second. Make sure you can hold it in your hand. Make sure you can shoot it. Make sure you're accurate at 21 feet and you can handle that gun at 21 feet and actually maybe get it within a 6-inch circle groups like an inch, inch and a half. And if you do that, you're probably pretty good. And when you're practicing, you want to go point and shoot. You don't really want to aim it. Point and shoot is always better, because in a real life scenario, you're not going to have a chance to pick up the gun and line up the little white lines and shoot. You're just not. You know, many places, many ranges will let you take the gun and shoot it. If you have any question, feel free to just, you know, post in this video, or you know, you can PM me. But there's a ton of educated people on YouTube. There's a lot of really, really nice videos out there, and there's a lot of information that you can get from people. And as you can see this video, how it looks, that's how much. There's a lot of junk out there too, so you got to be really careful what you're buying. You know, most guns today are in pretty good shape. A lot of them are imported from different countries: Turkey, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, some even coming from Japan, Germany. You know, so there's a lot of different guns that come in, Italy, and most of those are pretty high quality. But you can get some that have problems. And I've known Kimbers and Springfields and Desert Eagles and Cars and Smith & Wessons to have problems. Most of the problems are not major. A lot of times they're just magazine issues. But thanks a lot tuning in, and that's just a quick guideline of just, you know, some ideas on when you're going to pick out a gun and what you should be looking for. So there's like I say, there's a lot of crap out there, and you don't have to spend a lot. You can get a $500 1911 and go all day and shoot and have a great time with it, and customize and do things with it. But I do recommend, if you're going to get a $500 one, you know, get a stainless steel one or a coated one, because the black ones a lot of times wear out. But I mean, they still are just as good. But have a great day, and thanks a lot.